You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 70. Today is September 25, 2021. And since I had no one to appear on the podcast, I figured low life Ricky over here.
Hey guys, how's it going? Coming back, round 2.
Back to back with Officer Ricky, because everyone else has a fucking job.
Yep, I guess, you know what? I guess being hurt right now actually is a good thing. You know, I get free beer.
And Paul says you're doing this for attention.
I do all this for attention, man. All of this is for attention. You know this.
And this will probably give my producer, Uncle Roy, a heart attack.
That's perfect. I love it. You know, I would love to pull his strings. So
I figured episode 70 would pop up on some beers. It's kind of hot in here today, and it's been a stressful week. It's going to be a stressful day today. Queen Mary. I should probably already be.
You probably shouldn't have this right now, but you know what? It gets you started.
Fuck it. Let's go. How was your drive to Denver?
You know what, man? It actually was really good, really nice. So for those of you that don't know, my 2 Frenchies just had puppies, all males. So one of our puppies was just sold to a buyer in Denver. She was on a Facebook group of a French bulldog page. She saw one of them, fell in love, needed to have it now, and she paid me to drive out there.
I was gonna ask. I'm hoping they're gonna pay this guy to drive the dog over there, because that's some bullshit.
Yeah, no, I mean, so it's like I was telling Betty, because she took some convincing also. I was like, well, first of all, they're paying a pretty good price, and they said that they're willing to pay like above a little bit for travel expenses. Now, mind you, my Tesla has free supercharging for life, so I don't get charged to charge up my battery for my car. So my travel expense was just my time and a few snacks on the road.
That's it?
That's it.
How was the drive?
The drive actually was really good because again, thankfully of my car, autopilot, so I'm kind of just chilling. It's a straight line. Drove through Las Vegas, drove through all of Utah, and into obviously middle of Colorado because Denver's right in the middle. So a total of 15 and a half hours. And honestly, it was good. That's kind of like the beautiful thing about the Teslas, that you're kind of mandatory to stop every 2.5 hours to charge up. So you get about like a 30-minute power nap. So the drive itself isn't that bad because you're power napping every 2.5, 3 hours. So it was just a beautiful sight driving there. So it was good. And the people that bought our dog was great, the greatest people, like nicest people. Couldn't be happier that who he's going with, you know. So it all worked out at the end.
My drive to Texas, I don't know if I got into actual details of the drive in a previous podcast episode, but the drive there was chill. I mean, I came home after work, slept for a little bit, and then we took off. We left here like at 8 o'clock. So I think it was like 9:30 where we hit. And in and out, we all ate. The kids, we all got back in the car. The kids fell asleep. And then the next time I stopped was at a rest stop. I think right when you hit Arizona.
Okay.
So stopped there real quick. Got the GPS to work again because for some reason, once your car's in drive, you can't mess with anything. It won't let you. It's so safety mode this and safety mode that the car wouldn't allow me to use my phone as a GPS because I plugged it in after the car was moving. And so then I'm driving. I think we get to the next rest stop. No, I lied. That was the first rest stop, right? Doesn't matter. Next rest stop, whatever. I'm walking back. It was midnight, 12:30. I had just posted the podcast episode because obviously it was already Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm walking. I'm not paying attention. I'm walking towards the car, and I'm like, why the hell isn't this trunk opening? Right? Why isn't the trunk opening? I go to open the door, and it's someone else's car.
No way, dude.
There was a dude, there was a dude in the back seat. I was like, oh my god, dude, I'm so sorry, dude.
What did he say?
Nothing. He laughed. Cars were identical. Same exact car. And then Letty was like, I wonder why the hell. He was, when I got back in the car, I got in the wrong car. She's like, I was wondering why you were walking in that direction. Why did you fucking stop me, man? You saw me on the phone.
Wait, I must have been. So, did you just like, hey, oh my bad, I'm sorry.
My bad, dude, wrong car.
And you just dipped?
And then he goes, nah, don't worry about it. And I went back into the car.
He must have been like, who the fuck's trying to open this trunk?
So, we drive away. We come to the nearest freak, because my primo Andres told me that once you get, because I'm a chevron freak, I have to use chevron.
Okay.
So he told me once you get to California and Arizona, fill up, because you're not gonna see another chevron. So I was like, okay, cool, makes sense. So what the car only needed like a quarter of a tank of gas, but I pulled up and I gassed up. As I'm gassing up, guess who pulls up?
Who?
Those people.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, holy shit, you guys are here to kill me. And they're like, we were wondering why our dad was out of the car. They thought I was their dad because, the last time they saw their dad, the dad was sleeping in the car.
Oh.
They were wondering why I was,
Oh.
I'm like, dude, same.
That's
so
funny.
they all started laughing, like,
That's
same.
funny.
And then I guess I asked them where they were heading, and then it's somewhere close by. They were going like camping. I'm like, dude, I still got to go to El Paso. He goes, holy shit, we got about a couple hours. You still have like 10.
Yeah. So how long is that drive from Cali to El Paso?
It gets confusing because of the time change. The moment you get to Arizona, the time changes. Or I think the moment you get into New Mexico,
Yeah, New Mexico,
Texas, the time changes.
an hour and a half.
So, as my GPS said that I left here at 8 o'clock. I was supposed to get there at 10 o'clock Texas Central Time. So if you do the math, that was only like 11 hours. It says 12. It would have been 12 because of the time change.
So
but in reality,
it's 12 hours. But
in the car, it was only 11.
Yeah, because Colorado is the same. I didn't even realize. I knew it, but when I got there, I'm like, dang, why is it saying so late? Same thing. They were like, oh, because we're an hour ahead. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's right. I totally forgot that you guys are an hour ahead. You guys are Central Mountain Time.
So I mean that's the reason why I'm assuming. But after that, we take off. I talked to my brother in Texas, the one that lives with my grandmother. He just told me, just tell me when you're in Las Cruces. All right, cool. And so, dude, I felt fine the entire way there. And the part that was bullshit was that every mile or so, it felt like every mile. I'm gonna say every half an hour. Chevron. Okay, maybe this is the last chevron. Let me pull over. Because when I went back 8 years ago, I filled up the tank and I drove. And I had, I still had like a quarter of a tank. No, 3/4 of a tank. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I kept on driving. The car's coming to an empty tank and I don't find a gas station. And luckily, one pulled up, right? It wasn't the case this time.
There was a shitload.
Chevrons everywhere. Everywhere. Like little towns. 8 years ago was way different compared to this experience. So now
Makes
it's like,
sense. Yeah.
I'm like, shit, there's a chevron. And I stopped thinking, okay, well, this is the last chevron. Let me put gas.
So you kept stopping.
I stopped multiple times.
Oh,
dude.
wow. Okay.
At one point, I got off and Letty wanted hand sanitizer because she used the restroom at one of the rest stops.
Yeah.
And the water wasn't working. So I got off and just got hand sanitizer and then kept on going. Well, maybe this is the last chevron. And I pulled over. Dude, and at one point I'm like, fuck it, I'm good. I changed the settings to the car and it said 200 and something miles before you have to fill up. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been seeing a chevron every like 30 minutes. I'm sure I'll be fine. And yeah, no joke, dude. I was fine.
That's funny.
On the way home, I was like, I know where the fucking chevrons are
Yeah.
at. I know where the rest stops are at. I'm fine. And but no, we get to El Paso about 10:30 in the morning, and but my drive there was the drive there was awesome. Like I felt fine. I had those little Starbucks coffees. We stopped at almost every rest stop just in case. I've said in the past about a rest stop where there was an abandoned car.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
well we went to that rest stop again. No abandoned car this time.
No way.
The family was fully awake, so they went to use the restroom. Dude, it was so freaking hot. Like the at night, out there was like 90 degrees. 90. That every time I came to a stop and I went to go put gas or whatever, I obviously, if it was to put gas, I obviously turned off the car.
Yeah.
And they're all freaking, like, within minutes, they're all freaking, what the hell? You're trying to kill us. It's hot in here.
You guys
they were asleep and they were freaking wake up because it got so hot. Yeah.
Damn.
And then we got to Las Cruces. We got to this one rest stop, I believe, right when you get into New Mexico. And it was already like morning. The view was beautiful, dude. The sky was freaking pink.
Yep.
It was nice. I mean, for those of you that know New Mexico rest stops, this is just like rocks everywhere, dude.
No, I love New Mexico. I have family there on my mom's side, and that's exactly what I remember is just beautiful rocks, mountains, the flat tops. I mean, it's amazing.
The kids got off. Nick wanted to take pictures, and then but the wife was on the phone with her mom, checking in. Okay, we made it here. We're safe. We're fine. Yes, I feel fine. I'm good to continue to drive.
Yeah,
I felt fine, dude. I felt fine.
Even coming back.
We'll get there. We'll get there. And now we get to El Paso, whatever, and then right away, find something to eat, and we had Sonic. And you're like, what the fuck, man? Really? Out of all places, Sonic? We saw so many Whataburgers, dude. I'm like, no, we'll wait. And then we got there at Grandma's house. When he got something, picked up my brother, went to go get something to eat, and then just hung out, do the thing, whatever. Letty had to work, so she luckily she took her laptop with her.
Okay.
So she didn't really do much that Monday. But Sunday we hung out with my cousins, went to go eat somewhere, met my cousin, his sister for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it wasn't the first time, but I don't remember her as a kid.
Yeah.
And but the drive back was a bitch. Drive back was a bitch.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, while we were in El Paso, my brother on that Monday took advantage that I was there. Not in a bad way, but I told him anything he needed, let me know. And he wanted to go to multiple different stores that he normally uses the bus.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm like, yeah, dude, let's go. And he took me to this little, no joke, dude. We took me to this little grocery store that looked like you were literally in TJ. Like the whole little block, it blended in with TJ. And no joke, the border was like
right there.
I can jump over there real quick.
Yeah.
The kids loved the view, dude. When we got there, they're like, so you're saying that on the other side of that fence, that's Mexico? Yes, sir. Dude, the wall, the houses, they were just amazed that my grandma even asked us that Sunday, you guys don't want to go explore and check it out? And the kids are like, why? We saw Mexico, we saw Mexico, and we saw, what else did they say? I think they say where every Whataburger was at. We're good. We're fine. Because it was hot.
Yo, it
was hot.
Yeah.
They didn't want to go out there in the heat.
That's true.
That's
them spoiled SoCal kids right there.
Yeah, right? So that Sunday, obviously, that Sunday, the wife and I'm like, let's go. We got to go to Walmart. We got to buy some stuff. We ended up at that Walmart. Not on purpose, but we ended up at that Walmart where the mass shooting happened. Was a few years ago.
Okay, yeah.
We ended up at that Walmart, but I was like, oh shit, didn't think anything of it.
Do they have anything of like memories?
No, I didn't see anything there.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, there was nothing there. But when you first walk in, the door greeter was wearing a Dallas Cowboy jersey. I'm all right.
I'm not surprised.
A couple feet in, another customer walks around with the freaking Dallas Cowboy hat. I know I'm wearing my Dak Prescott jersey, bro. A couple more freaking people a few minutes later, where I'm like, threw my hands up in the air. I'm fucking home. I felt like freaking Phil. Was it Phil from The Hangover? I'm not even going back. I'm staying here. Like, I'm at home. These are my people. And Letty's walking up ahead. Fuck, you're embarrassing me, dude. Babe, look it. What's up, man? I'm fucking home. So we went to Walmart. We went to Walmart because my grandmother's house had some plumbing issues. And
I remember you mentioned that.
I had to freaking fix it. So her toilet, the little ball inside the toilet, the tank wouldn't go high enough, so the water kept on going.
Running, yeah.
So it kept on running. So she they turned off the water from the main behind the toilet. I'm like, so she was using, every time she used the toilet, she used a cup to flush her toilet.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Then the other toilet, the hallway one, was leaking water from underneath. Then her sink. Oh my God, the sink. You know when the water gets so black that it starts to smell?
That smell. Yep. And the P-trap. Yep.
The sink was so clogged, and then I was trying to repair her what do you call that thing that goes in the bottom of the sink and it's supposed to grind the food?
Oh, the garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal wasn't working. I didn't go buy that. I'm like, oh, fuck all that.
That's expensive.
No, that's going to cost me an arm and a leg. I only came to visit. So, okay, Grandma, I'm going to fix your toilet. Oh, and then her little fan, she couldn't reach the fan chains
that's right.
anymore.
You said that you extended it.
Notice the chains in our house. They're all freaking long.
They're all long, running into all of them.
I ended up buying 3 packs, so I only needed 1. So I'm like, well, fuck it. We'll just connect them here at the house. And now they hit me in the face.
Yeah.
So she needed that too. I'm all right, cool. Do you guys have any tools? And they're like, well, your pops had tools in the garage, in the back little, like it's like a shed.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, it's locked. Oh, well, here's the key. All right, cool. I go back there and I made the mistake of leaving the door open. Dude, that little shed, if it was 100 degrees outside, that shed had to be 1,000.
Yep.
The moment I opened the door, it's like hell.
Was it like aluminum or like was it like wood?
No, it was wood. But it was just
because there's no
ventilation, ventilation and no insulation, nothing.
Yep.
So it was like 1,000 degrees. It's like fucking. I opened the door to hell. I'm like, fuck, where the stairs at? Where the stairs at? So I find some tools and I'm all right, cool. I can use this. I go and fix the toilets, but then I need something else. So I go back in there. I forgot. I left the damn door open, and the one thing my brother did warn me is that there's a lot of cats. So when I went back into the shed, a fucking black cat ran out. That my fucking I got the chills so fucking. It scared the shit out of me. It scared the crap out of me.
Like it wasn't Friday the 13th,
dude.
Man.
It was like holy shit.
Hell
anyways,
yeah, funny.
I repaired the toilets, and then the other toilet in the hallway. That one was just the little what's that wax?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
dude, it was just old. Took the wax out, put the new wax in, screwed it back down. Toilet seat was gone. It was fine. And then I bought her a plunger for the sink in the kitchen. I told my brother, this is only for the kitchen, dude. You do not use this in the toilets. Because if this garbage disposal is not fixed, it's going to continue to clog up. So this is only for the sink. He's all right, cool. Put it down. Fucking pumped the damn sink and the water was flowing fine. Okay, cool. And added the chains to her fans. It felt good, dude. It felt good to be, being able to fix things around her house that I actually knew how to fix.
Yeah.
This again goes back to
back in the
my
day.
buddy Frank that always he's a handyman and he always did stuff like this. So just by looking at the toilet seat, I'm like, it's got to be the wax. Just by them explaining what happened to the other bathroom, it's got to be the ball, And yeah, fixed everything, good to go. She was so happy, and she wanted my brother to pay me back, but I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Just tell her you did.
Yeah.
And she's like, but that's okay. Then you're gonna go buy. Then when we go get Whataburger, you're paying for it. He goes, okay, cool, and we'll be even.
Perfect.
And he's all right, cool. I made breakfast that Sunday morning. I made breakfast that Monday morning, and she was.
That's your ritual, right? You usually make breakfast on Sunday morning, right? Yeah.
I mean, lately the kids have been taking over, but
okay.
I mean,
you're passing on the tradition. Though.
Yeah, we made breakfast, and she was kind of tripping out. The kids were cooking, and the wife wasn't. I'm like, I like to do this.
Yeah.
Old school, dude. She's old school.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
She's old school. She even tripped out at the fact that when my buddy Chris came over and he was chatting with us, she can mainly hear them two talking. That she was even like, I only heard you guys talking. Like, kind of like insinuating, like, are you sure that's Andy's friend? Like, I'm like, damn. Freaking Letty was like, I think your grandma's trying to call me a slut. I'm like, dude, they're old school. She's old school. Don't worry about it.
No.
And, she kind of got bent out of shape because the kids were helping me, cook. I'm like, it's okay. She was kind of getting bent out of shape because the kids were cleaning. It's okay. They pulled out the vacuum. They were vacuuming. They were dusting. It's okay. This is the way they earn their electronics. This is the way they get to play on their phones. They have to earn it. But yeah, no. At first, she wasn't having it. She was getting pissed. And then, but that was my experience there. And she gave me all those cars in that box. I just haven't set them up yet. They're like old school.
Oh yeah.
They're like she said those were all my grandfather's cars.
No way! Wow.
And she said, well, I don't know what's gonna happen to them once I pass. So I want to set them up right here.
these old school cars, like I said, my grandpa used to buy me a bunch of these. That's why I have that truck one displayed in my house.
Yeah.
These are I personally, I'm biased. I love them. So dude,
I'm gonna. That's
awesome.
I want to put them right here. That was the plan until with this whole garage situation is going down. So
Yeah,
I don't even know if my stuff's gonna be in here long enough. So
I'm sure they'll find a home somewhere. You know.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
I'm not getting rid of them. They're gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
But yeah, she told me you can have them. They're your grandpa's.
Dude, that's sick, man. That's so cool.
She gave us a bunch of pictures, even pictures of her. Like, she's like, go through them, whatever you guys want, take them. And then yeah, they're all wrapped in paper except for that one. We ran out of paper.
I'm just curious of what this one is. These are sick. These are sick.
They're
sick.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're sick. That's
So
cool.
I just gotta find a spot for them. Probably, I gotta play with all this stuff.
Well, that's cool. You guys at least experience, El Paso to some degree. Where me, like I said, we just went to go drop off the puppy, and I was hoping to kind of hang out a little bit because I've heard Denver is just so beautiful, but Betty wanted to go before because we had a wedding this weekend, so she was like, "Yo, let's just bust the mission."
Yeah. Well, the last time we went to El Paso, it was, I think it was like a night and a half, a day and a half.
Yeah, same. Okay.
But this time it was actually almost 3 days.
So your first experience was what my experience was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. I was literally drop off, nice to meet you. We spent like an hour hanging out with them, and then okay, cool, we're out.
Yeah, that first time was in and out. We got there. I got there. I took a nap, and then they brought my grandfather back from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, he's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought him back home, and then when they set him in the bed, which is the same bed that she sleeps in, they laid him in the bed. She was like, "Hey, do you know who that is?" And he was like, "Poselandi," like he like really sarcastic and rude, "Poselandi." And then my grandma's like, "You see, he's gonna die stubborn." Like she walked out of the room. That's when she was able to walk. And yeah, she this time was a little bit more of a, maybe we didn't go out and look, but I did go out more often. Like I said, I took my brother to the multiple.
You got
stores.
to see because you're doing your rounds.
Multiple stores.
Yeah,
we got to see. Like I said, we got to see like the Whataburger. We got to see like, and then there's this one hill that my grandma was pointing out, and she said, I always used to go hiking there. On our way out, leaving El Paso, you can see it at the very top. There's like a statue of, like, I'm assuming Jesus, kind of similar to the one in Rio, the one with the arms.
Yep.
Same idea. She said it's pretty bad now because you go up there and it's all tagged up, and like, I guess they're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
The drive back, on the other hand, no bueno. That one. So I had some kind of a nap on my way to Texas, but on my way back, it was an all day thing. I didn't sleep at all. So,
are you a switcher? Do you switch with Letty to drive?
No. One, she's not supposed to drive at night. So I just, plus I'm the kind of person that feels that since I am responsible for the people's lives in this car, if we crash, it's on me.
Same. I'd rather take that responsibility.
If I'm letting the wife drive, then I don't feel like a man. That's my job. That's
the same. It's weird. Yeah, I feel the exact same even though it's me and Betty. I feel the exact same. That, you know what, it should just be me behind the wheel.
But you have a Tesla, bro. You just put that shit on autopilot. You don't do shit.
I know, but I still gotta manage it.
They're close to You want another one?
If you
want, go for it.
Are you though?
Go for it.
Are you though?
I'll drink it. Beer break. That strawberry was pretty good. What is this?
I don't strawberry.
Strawberry again.
What did I have? I thought was they not the same?
No.
Oh, you're right.
They're different flavors.
What the hell is this? Oh, lemon.
Nice.
That makes sense.
All right, let's pop them open. All right.
Beer break.
So, like I said, I feel responsible for their lives.
Yeah.
So, the drive back, I was up all day, so I didn't sleep. And but that last stop that my brother took me to, the last store we went to, I kind of went through all the little, how they have the mini fridges at the registers? I went through all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Through all of them to find those Starbucks coffees. I took them all, dude. I think like 6 or 8 of them.
Did you leave in the morning or in the evening?
Evening. evening, because Letty clocked out at
choice.
5 o'clock.
Oh, you're waiting for her to finish
Yeah.
work. Oh,
Monday
okay.
she was on the clock.
Okay.
So once she clocked out, we took off. We pretty much said
Got it.
goodbye. We had dinner while she was still working. All right. We were out the door. I think she clocked out at 5. We were out the door by like 5:36.
So this is later because this is 5 o'clock
This
LA
is-
time.
Uh-huh.
So you left actually 6 o'clock El Paso time.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
So, but she was clocked in California time.
yeah, that's what I mean.
So
yeah. So she
instead
was,
of clocking in at 8 o'clock like she normally does,
she clocked in at 7.
it was 9 over there. And it was okay. So no,
You're
she
an hour
did-
ahead in El
Yeah,
Paso.
so she did clock out at 6 because when it was 8 o'clock here, it was 9 o'clock over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it was 5 o'clock here, it was 6 o'clock. So
yeah. Yeah.
we left 6 o'clock El Paso time.
Yeah.
So 6:37, we were on the road. I already had gassed up. Didn't need to. Just jumped on the freeway
That's rough.
and let's go. I grabbed all the coffees, and my brother's like, he don't drink coffee, but he was like, yeah, I'll buy them. Don't worry about 'em. I'm like, you sure? It's like 8 of them. Go for it. And the company had just recently given me like this igloo type bag where it keeps everything so cold.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I had the boys kind of stage it in the back seat where I can reach it with my hand, so I can reach it if I needed one. So again, on the road, fine.
Rookie mistake, man. You should ask me for some passion. That's what I use.
I don't need to take a poop while I'm driving, bro. As it is, the boys are freaking. As it is, something made me sick on the way to El Paso, because the kids asked the kids because we were in New Mexico. Something made me sick because when we got to New Mexico, the boys were making fun of me. They're like, Mom, Dad bombed the shit. Because I heard them in the bathroom too. I'm like, guys, yeah, Dad. Sorry. What happened?
Oh,
It was bad. It was bad,
It was
dude.
the in and out.
I don't know what the hell, or I was holding it in,
was the in and
or
out.
in and out didn't fit in, didn't register well. But I'm like, sorry guys, what? Boom.
Yep, that was
So-
me and I've done that before 3 times.
So
That's
they're
funny.
like, Dad bombed New Mexico. Dad bombed New Mexico. And so no, again, we get on the road, rest stop. We stop. I'm not worried about the gasoline stations anymore because I damn well know there's multiple gasoline stations. We get to the New Mexico-Texas border, and the freeway cuts. Like, it's no longer what's the freeway, but it makes you go through their checkpoint.
Oh, okay.
No one's there, dude. I just go right through.
Yeah.
You keep going. Rest
That's
stop.
probably like the vegetation bullshit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Rest stops, whatever. We're fine. We get to like the last rest stop right before you get into California. No, we did stop by at a gasoline station where, dude, beetles, thousands of fucking beetles everywhere.
What?
Thousands
In what
of-
state?
I think it was already Arizona. Because most of the drive, I was doing the calculation,
Uh-huh.
and most of the drive is Arizona.
Okay.
Arizona is literally 400 miles.
So you're cutting through the fat portion.
I think
of
it was
Arizona.
Texas was only a few miles, and if I'm correct, New Mexico was only like, I'm gonna say 200 miles, 150 maybe.
Mhm.
But the rest of 400 miles was all Arizona. So most of the drive is Arizona. So we stopped by a bunch of beetles, put gas. This was a creepy gasoline station. This was like something you see like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
like real
yeah.
creepy gasoline station. Get on the road, let's go. But then I start to feel it, dude. Like I'm maybe 3 hours away from home.
Uh-huh.
We stop by the rest stop, and I feel like I'm on a boat.
What
Like
the hell?
yeah, because by then I've already had all the coffees.
Oh.
I already had all the coffees.
Yeah, and I'm
dude.
looking at it right now. Yeah, you literally cut through all the fat part of Arizona, and yeah, you're right. It's just a small corner of New Mexico.
Yeah, everything else is Arizona.
Oh shit.
And
Okay.
so I am. So it's like I'm on a boat, dude.
Uh-huh.
We get to this rest stop, and the rest stop's closed.
Wait, so you're saying the caffeine
I
gave
guess.
you like the rockers?
I guess
What?
because I've never felt like that before, or the last time I felt like that, I was on a boat.
You know, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's
And,
so weird.
So there is no the restrooms are closed, but they have porta potties. And by then, I'm trying to do whatever I can to
sounds
stay
fun.
awake, dude. I'm slapping my face with water.
I do that.
I'm
I
slapping
do
my
that.
face. I'm splashing water on my face. Where the kids are like, Dad, what the hell, Dad? So I go into the porta potty to piss, and all of a sudden I feel the swaying like even worse. And I'm like, Jojo, what, Dad? Is there an earthquake? Was there an earthquake? He goes, Even he said, "Dad, you're tripping."
That's what you smoked.
Yeah.
You have a bad trip.
Pretty much. What are you drinking, Dad? Oh, that's right, your coffees. Got back in the car, drove off. At this point, I should have woken up the wife. At this point, like, I'm done. I think I pulled over to one more gasoline station. I was like 3 hours away from the house.
That's the worst. Because you're like, I can power through.
Yeah, it's only 3 hours. It's only 3 hours. But, dude, it felt like a
long time.
But the drive from Texas to back to the house, besides the whole hour change bullshit, it was only 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because by then I felt comfortable, dude, and I just fucking, whatever the speed limit sign said, I went 10 miles faster.
See, I'm
on the way there.
See, like, that's cute because I don't want to say because I'm a cop, but because I'm a cop.
You got pulled over, though.
I did.
I saw your snap.
Yeah, that was Betty that got pulled over, by the way, not me. Because she doesn't know how to do it. So we did get pulled over, 25 over the speed limit. And
that's why I only did 10.
And, you know, we played the cop card. And have a nice day.
Damn.
I'm not going to say it works, but it works.
What do you call it? So, no, I only did 10 miles over the speed limit. So most of the drive was at 85 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. Just the entire way over here. On the way there, I kept the speed limit. So I felt like I zoomed by. Think about it, man. I'm going 10 miles, 20 miles faster back home than I really was going to Texas. Mm-hmm. That I freaking flew, dude. Anyways, the last 3 hours felt like shit. I freaking swaying, like trying to do whatever I can to stay awake, slapping my face. Even Nick's like, Dad,
what if you had vertigo?
It was something.
Yeah, interesting.
It was something. But I made it home only to sleep for like 2 fucking hours. Only to sleep for 2 hours, man. Because that Tuesday, I obviously had to return the car. Dude, on the way back, the tire pressure and the tires all were off. It's like, what the fuck? By the time I got home and took the car to the rental, I got a flat. So I had to pull over and change the tire, the spare tire, whatever. Then I got to the rental place and the guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, hold on, dude. Hold on. Go attend to your 2 customers over there because I'm not ready for you right now." I am fucking pissed. Do you see my sweat on my shirt? I'm pissed. Go attend to your other customers. Before he even comes back, he goes and gets the manager.
He's like, "Hey, you're gonna need."
Yeah, the manager comes down and she's like, "Andres," because she wanted to. We talked a while back and she wanted to be on the podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So she remembered, "Andres, what's going on?" She goes, "I have so many martinis, but I know you. What's going on?" And I'm like, "Okay." I do the Ace Ventura bullshit.
I just watched that too.
First of all, the cars say no smoking. The cars smell like weed. 1, 2. Well, first of all, I come here on a Friday and you guys tell me you guys don't have a car for me. When you guys finally do give me a car, the car smells like weed. The last place on the GPS is a fucking smoke shop. She goes, "Oh, sorry about that." Second, your car is supposed to be safer than mine. I'm going to say it again. Your car is supposed to be safer than mine. Okay. So why is it that all 4 tires had a different tire pressure? They were off. I just drove my family to Texas and back.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. And on my way here, I got a flat. So do I have to pay for that tire?" She goes, "Oh, no. Okay, cool. Goose Fraba. Don't let it happen again." She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She started punching numbers. I'm like, whoa. I'm not telling you this for you to lower my bill. I'm telling you this so that next time I rent a car, it's safer than mine. She still dropped the bill by $150.
Nice.
So instead of $350, I only paid $200.
Perfect.
So, all right, cool. And then we talked about the podcast, and then she started venting about her job. I'm like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." And she heard me miserable. She heard me calling an Uber, so she Ubered me home. She had one of her employees drive me home. Nice. Well, it was to Mama Bear's house because it was her birthday that day.
Oh, okay.
I passed out that day, dude. I'm sitting on the sofa. I knocked the fuck out. Yeah. I just drove fucking 10, 13 hours. I'm here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to knock the fuck out.
You're going to bust Sorry to put you on the spot, but you're gonna bust in Oribe.
I knocked out, bro. I fucking knocked out.
Love you, buddy. No, yeah, it's I had a similar thing. So like literally from Denver, we drove straight back home. 1 hour to regather ourselves, and then go to Mom and Barrett. Thank them for taking the puppies an extra day. Watching them.
Speaking of that, you guys got JoJo in trouble.
We did.
He got. You know how he walks from school to the grandma's house?
Yeah, we saw him at the house.
Okay. He got there. Saw the dogs. Got excited. And forgot to call us.
That's what Mauricio was saying. Mauricio was like, "Hey, Jojo, make sure you call your parents." Ah, okay.
So when
that makes sense.
When he got home,
now that makes sense. That conversation now makes sense.
When he got home, I committed a felony spanking. All right,
it's okay. He can't let distractions get to him. That was a test, and he failed. So we went over there. We bought him food. Literally. So we turned around, what is that, 30 hours? So 30-hour drive, an hour turnaround from getting them food, as an appreciation, giving them, making sure that everything's ready for the pups to make it as simple as possible for them, which obviously it's not, watching, what is that, 6 dogs is not going to be easy. From there, so from going from an hour turnaround from, again, 30-hour drive, we drove another 7 hours to Santa Cruz. So 37 hours for the wedding. So that way we can finally somewhat chill. And thankfully we got there a day early. So we literally were there before anyone else. So we got to actually relax and chill.
How was the speech?
I did good. I was best man.
A little birdie told me, Betty, that you didn't plug in the podcast.
I did not. I was a little nervous.
But yeah, here you are.
I kept it. I kept it short. I was a little nervous because he kind of threw it on me last minute. So I was because I was the best. He's my best friend since 5th grade. So naturally, I was. He asked me in that last minute. So
has he ever had you appear on a podcast? Multiple times?
You know what? Not yet.
Does he give you free beers?
He does not give me free beers either.
And you couldn't plug in the podcast?
I forgot. I don't know, man.
This is it, bro.
I don't get paid enough.
This is why I'm giving the podcast a break.
I don't get paid enough here at this podcast for my appearances and my stories.
You don't get a 3% check in the mail, bro. This is not how it works.
I was waiting for that. I keep looking at my account like, when's Andy gonna send his 3 cent pay for appearance in the podcast?
Nope.
Yeah. So no, those turnarounds for us are pretty rough, but I mean, they're again at the end of the day worth it. A puppy found a good home. We made a little money. And at the end of the day, we had a great time at the
wedding.
At the wedding. So, I mean, compared to other people's cross country adventures, like Gabby Petito's, that's it's terrible. Literally the complete opposite.
You know what's bullshit about this case, and this is actually perfect because you are a police officer. What I think is bullshit about this case is that the cops were called multiple times.
Yep.
The cops. There's a video of this individual of Gabby crying.
Yep.
Behind a patrol car.
Yep.
And what happened to the O.J. Simpson case here?
So that's exactly what Betty and I were talking. I don't know the laws are in Utah or Wisconsin or Wyoming where this all happened. I know in California that, like I said, if I would have done that in here, my job would have been. I would have been done. I would have been.
Dude, I got arrested.
Andy, I need you to get me a job. I am fired.
Like I said, I walked out of the house and on my way out, my shoulders bumped into her, and I got arrested.
Yep. And that's what we told him. We like Betty and I kind of went back and forth. We heard the 911 dispatch. We saw the video. He had marks. And she admitted him. So we're like, at minimum, she should have been arrested. At minimum. And guess what? That would have saved her life.
If she would have been arrested,
that would have saved her life.
She would have been alive.
Or one or the other. Both. Because again, he did say that, he pushed her off, whatever the case is. But because he had the actual scratching marks, like, okay, if not her, both should have been arrested. And that would have saved her life.
Now, I'm not sure if this is correct, but the wife is the one, she reads more than I do. I just say, hey, babe, I guess the body was hers. And she wants details. I'm like, well, I didn't read the story. You know.
Yeah.
And but what she read was that One, when that happened, they told her, okay, well, you're going to stay in your car, but we're going to put him for the night at a hotel. They paid for his fucking hotel.
That was very old school, and that's why I say I don't know if that's what is a norm. Because before, that's what it was. If you and Letty were arguing and shit was going down, and be, hey, you know what? What's your name, Andy? Hey, Andy, you know what, dude? Why don't you just, take a walk? Can you stay at a friend's house tonight? Do you have a friend nearby? Yeah. Can you stay with them for the time being? Just so you can cool off. The whole cooling off was such a big thing back in the day. Like, and that's what I say. I don't know if that's the norm for these other states, because I don't know their laws. But like I said, I know ours, and I know that if anyone in California, they would have gone that route, or they should have, because by law and policy, that's what you're supposed to do, and that actually would have saved someone's life, because they know how bad domestic violence can be when you're in the heat of passion. And you're stuck with someone.
There's also something that she read. I'm sorry. There's something that she read that stated that there's witnesses that say his parents' vehicle was at the campground.
Yeah.
So did they help get rid of her? Like,
that's the point, right? That's why they did the search warrant of his parents' house. Because, again, he came home by himself. And, my wife was like, why didn't her family contact the police earlier when they came back? It's like I was telling you earlier. Think of it in your scenario. Do you live with your in-laws? Do you live with, your other family members where they check up on you on 24/7 basis? They know you're on a cross-country trip. They don't know that, hey, you know what? Something went bad and you guys possibly could have came home early.
My understanding, homegirl lived at his house.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying.
If they're covering for it, they're not going to go say, hey, your daughter's missing.
And that's what I'm saying. If this is going on, that's what I'm saying. Are your parents, they don't know. Now, my was like, oh, but she's a blogger. Or I'm sorry, a vlogger. Like, okay, but how often are those parents really watching those contents? Maybe you realize, hey, she hasn't posted in about a week. That's very uncommon for this person, because again, that's how she makes her money.
So come next week, if my podcast, I don't post a podcast episode, are people going to freak out or worry and call the cops and check up on me, or what's going on?
Maybe they should. Shit, I don't know. Maybe. That's what I would do. Like, hey, Andy, you don't have a podcast this week. What's going on? Whatever the case may be.
I don't respond. What happens? Is the wife the suspect?
It would be for me.
All right, cool.
It always comes home. I'll look at JoJo first.
On a serious note, yeah, JoJo. Actually, the wife did say I locked my door because of JoJo. Anyways, no, dude. It's a trip. Like I said, I don't really read the entire stories, but from what I'm hearing from the wife, and it is a fucked up situation.
Yeah, so
what the fuck
sad.
is wrong with the people in Florida? Seriously. No offense to anybody from Florida.
I'm just
honestly,
saying,
Casey Anthony, what I mean?
It's honestly everywhere, man. It's such a sad thing, domestic violence, and I just hope that they're doing pretty good at spreading the light on it now, but it really is such a big deal, and I feel like it's always going to be. There's no way, because people do feel trapped, people get manipulated, people feel like there's, I don't deserve, I can't get better, whatever the case may be. People, at the end of the day, it's just a big mental game, and unfortunately it's something that has one emotional and physical consequences.
Coming from the guy that grew up witnessing domestic violence his entire life, I witnessed my mom get her ass beat multiple fucking times for a long fucking time for a different fucking guy.
Yeah.
She knew how to get under an individual's skin where, they beat the shit out of her, until finally I grew up and I was like, I'm tired of this shit. And I beat down the fucker that was trying to hit her. And now I take that back. I take that back, because I did beat him up. I did stop him from hitting my mom, especially in front of, we had guests. My neighbor friends were next door. Yeah. Were here, and I bumped into that guy as an adult, and I understand why he would. I don't know. I don't tolerate the hitting, but I understand why he was frustrated. He would. He's a good dude. He's a good dude, and he opened up to me one day, and he's like, "You were young to understand, but now you're an adult. Now you have a kids of your own. But think about it. Put yourself in my shoes. This is something you guys never saw. So something you guys don't understand. Put yourself in my shoes. I go visit my family in Mexico. I'm gone for like a month or two. I come back and she's already 2 months pregnant. You do understand that those 2 kids aren't mine. It's like, but they have your last name. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they're not my kids. And I look at them and I look at both. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. I look at both Chris and Adrian and they look nothing alike. You know, and then I look at Chris and Adrian and neither one of them look like this guy. So I understand his frustrations. You know. Then we go to so-called Angel and Ricky's dad. And supposedly these 2 kids are his kids, you know, but there's a possibility that they're not. You know, I don't tolerate domestic violence, you know, because I witnessed it, and to me, like I said, I get their frustrations. So, but the message was delivered wrong. If I'm trying to get at something here, because when I felt my baby's mom didn't want nothing to do with me and wanted to leave me, I guess in the heat of the moment, it's thinking about back to how my mom was, you know, how she was in relationships, and okay, well they hit her and she stays with them, you know. I have a feeling that's what happened in that moment.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah. Because I ended up, you know, hitting the mother of my kids. Not that I'm proud of it, but till this day, that event still fucking haunts me, dude. Yeah. Because she still fucking reminds people
of it.
Yeah, dude. Like how much of a, I kept her hostage. Like just the other day, Nick came back from the last visit kind of bummed out. But he didn't explain. He didn't give the entire details. And remember I told you about I mentioned something about a liver, right? So he didn't finish. He didn't finish telling us the entire story. Apparently, the mom and the sisters made a joke. Well, if Nick won't give you his liver, you know Andy will. That way he can be inside of you again. Like I still want her type bullshit. It's like, and he just barely told us that the other day. So there you go. Remember I said earlier, like I'm just still feeling it. Like, but you're like, why? I just shit still keeps coming up. You know, my sister hit me up the other day and she's like, hey, well, it's a go. We're gonna come see you for Christmas. We're gonna stay there till New Year's Day. And they're a champ, bro. They're gonna drive for fucking a day and 38 hours total.
They're coming from where again?
They're Chicago. 38-hour drive, bro. Our little baby ones.
No.
So she tells me,
thank you,
that she told her mom, our mom, that she's not gonna go to Oxnard to visit her. That she's coming here. So she's like running her mouth. Oh, Andy brainwashed you and blah 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 blah. Here we go. Keep continuing to fucking blame Andy. I don't condone domestic violence, but I see why she got her ass kicked.
Yeah. It's one of those where it's more the sense of like, you understand the frustration, but the way it's handled, obviously in a physical manner, is not what you condone, obviously.
No, I don't.
Because I think it's something that should be, you know, made clear to listeners, you know, like people can be pushed to their limits. You know, and that's the thing about your loved ones. They know how to get underneath your skin. They know the things to say. They know your deepest and darkest secrets, the things that are going to really put you over edge. And you as a person have to realize at that point that, hey, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah.
Before I put hands on this person, I got to get the fuck out of there.
I actually gave props to my baby's mom's ex, because till this day, she is getting under her fucking skin. She's like telling her, oh, Andy said he doesn't want you around the boys, which I never fucking said that. Yeah. And, oh, the boys said they don't want you around and blah, blah, blah. They don't want to come here because of you and blah, 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 which is totally bullshit. Which is totally bullshit. So I told her, I'm like, I give you fucking props. I tip my hat off to you for not losing your shit, because I would have lost my shit just by me listening to what my son said about me being inside of her again. I was fucking heated, and I wanted to text her so bad, bro, and fucking just go off on her. But
for what?
Exactly. For what? And she said the same thing. She's like, why? She's not worth it. Why are we gonna get into it with her? She's not worth it. But it does hurt me that she continues to say that you said that I can't be around the kids. I'm like, well, you know what? Fuck her. And the next time she tells you that, you ask her for my number there and then, and tell her you want to call me and you want to hear it from me, because I've never fucking said that. So people can get under your fucking skin, but you got to learn to fucking walk away.
Yeah, and that's again, it's one of those things where it's easier said than done, but at the end of the day, we have to do it. Because again, that person may regret what they said. Maybe they don't, because they just generally don't care. And that's kind of what I found. They just don't care. They don't care what you feel, because again, they want that. They want you to do something out of line so they can play that victim card. They can play that. You're not saying that they're asking to be hit or that they're asking for something to happen, but they want to play the victim card so they can have that troop behind them of, oh my God, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. So again, because I've been in those toxic relationships too, where it's been the same thing. Not that I put hands on someone, but where all of a sudden I'm being surrounded by people that are like, I can't believe that you said certain things. I'm like, whoa, like I didn't. What are you talking about? It's the same thing. Obviously not to the extent of being, physically, like assaulting someone, but those are obviously the extremes where, that person that does something like that, like you said yourself, needs to get that counseling done, because we're all going to be pushed at some point, whether by a loved one, by another family member, by a close friend, by an employer. We're all going to be pushed by a stranger to the point where we may be at that breaking point. We may catch Andy on a bad day where that stranger says something that kind of just stings a little more, where, you have to keep your cool. Otherwise, next thing you know, you're beating some random guy, and fucks up your life. And that's what, as an officer, I deal with. I go to, and I'm like, hey, why did this person hit you? I don't know. We had an argument. Next thing I know, this guy fucking pulls out, a knife on me, because he didn't know what that guy was going through. And that little altercation he had was the tipping on the ice. That's it. He had enough. And where he just went black. He was like, I'm just seeing all red now. So that's why, people just have to just walk away from all these confrontations. People want to be confrontational. You don't know what that person is going through. You don't know what that's going to do.
When I was, when we were going to court, and I was being drilled by her lawyer, domestic violence came up, and they're like, how is it that, how are you going to sit there and tell me that you won't do the same thing again to your current wife? And I said, no one can get under my skin like your client did. No one. Because, dude, she made her lawyer believe that she was so fucking innocent. Her lawyer's like, so you're telling me my client is the problem? Yes. Yes, I am. Your client is the problem. And like I said, yes, I got so angry the first time that, I caught her cheating, that I slapped her in the face. And that's why I have this scar right here. I think I said it before, but I have a scar on my left thumb because I was working at Home Depot, and it was when those Husky box cutters first came out.
Ricky mentioned that.
Freaking, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention. I was more concerned of where the fuck was she at, because she wasn't at home, that I wasn't paying attention, and I cut my finger.
I didn't know that.
And I cut my finger and band-aided it up and came back to work. But my concern was, where the fuck was she at? So I get home, she's not home, and then she finally shows up that afternoon, and I'm like, where the fuck were you at? And I just fucking slap her, dude. And back to normal, back to honeymoon stage bullshit. And then, but then there's time, it was Layla's like second birthday, and we were trying to like grill. I was grilling. I was entertaining her guest. Her family was at the house, and I was grilling for her family, and I can hear her joking around with her sister about where she was at and bullshit like that. I'm like fucking standing right here. I'm fucking standing right here. So then, like, maybe we moved from that apartment. We went to another apartment. And then that's when I walked out of the house and fucking, because she started acting up again. And I walked out of the house, and that's when I got arrested. She got away with what she had to do. Then because the kid was underage, I think the kid was only like 16 and she was already 18, 19, the mom put a stop to that.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go back 11 months later, and she does it all over again. And then that's when they go to, she picks a fight with me so she can go to this Halloween party where she meets another 15-year-old boy. Yeah, and she's already, again, 20 years old, messing with the 15-year-old. I don't know, again, I don't know where the hell she's at. She took off in my car. I don't know where that, and I get a tip that she's in Santa Paula. So for a long time, I hated Santa Paula, bro. So I don't know how, I don't remember how I got out there, but I got out there and I find my car at this kid's house. I get my fucking spare key, get in my car, drove the fuck off. I drove off. I left her fucking without a car. So what happened? She had no choice but to fucking go and just fucking pick a fight. And that's when I fucking clotheslined her, ended up in jail. There, she got what she wanted. She got that little freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. That was the last time I ever laid a hand on her, was that clothesline. Because after that, after jail, I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And like I said, dude, it's like, I witnessed that my entire life, that I thought that was what was right, I guess. But it's
norm, I guess, would
normal.
be
the normal, exactly. The normal. You grew up around that, so you think that's the normal, but it's not. And so when that lawyer brought up that question, I'm like, no one can get under my skin the way she did.
Mm-hmm.
No one. And honestly, dude, not once have I ever gotten the urge to want to hit my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I've hit the garage door. I've hit the sofa. I've kicked the sofas, but not once towards her. You know, I've learned, dude. It's like, it's not worth it, dude.
It's not.
It's not.
And that's what I try to tell these people when it comes to domestic violence, whether it be to, the guys, to the women. I'm like, at the end of the day, like, someone at the end of the day is going to be fucked. Because especially here in Cali, I can't talk about for the rest of the country, but here in Cali, someone's going to get fucked. And is it really worth it? Is it worth, because now, you had an argument? Okay, now I have to call child services. I'm mandated. Do you really want that right now? Again, even though it goes nowhere, do you want them on your radar though?
Well, I got slapped with the cruelty to a child, because when I hit her, when I clotheslined her, it was in front of Layla.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
that was the worst one. I didn't want that one on my record. But.
And that's why I tell people, I'm like, do you fuck your guys' relationship. Do you want to potentially lose your kids, or worse, if you having this issue with your significant other? Do you want to lose all rights to your significant other if you believe that them to be a piece of shit? Now, guess what? Who's gonna raise that person? The person you believe to be a piece of shit. Maybe you are. Maybe the other person is. I don't know. But why is it? It's better to just walk away and just try to figure out the whole co-parenting. I try to explain it to so many people. Some get it, some don't. The ones I know that don't is because I get the radio calls back. I'm going back and I'm talking to them and I know them by name.
It's sad, right?
And that is
remember
sad.
What I told you last time? Like, the cop already knew him by name.
Yeah, and that's when you know it's sad. When I'm like, I know the address, I know what's going on, and I know their name. I know them by names.
Yeah, I always told her, like, one day you're gonna piss someone really off. Like, you're really gonna piss them off. You're lucky they don't fucking kill you. That's how much of under the skin she gets under people. Like,
some people, that's how they are. They just know, they know your core, because they know how to build trust to where you're vulnerable. You lay down everything that is close to you, and you allow yourself to be vulnerable to that person to where they can use against. Whether they use it in a manipulative way or maybe they don't mean it. But I mean, that's the thing about people like that I've noticed. They're easy to talk to, so that you can, expose all the stuff that's going on and stuff that is vulnerable to you, so that in a later on future, they can use against you and use literally so in their favor.
It's a trip, dude. I don't think I said this last time, but it's a trip because the one advice that I should have listened to me were the wrong people. But in reality, I should have listened to every single individual in jail that told me, if you stay with her, you'll be back. You'll be back. And that was the very first time that I went to jail. People that I didn't even know were like, you'll be back.
Yeah.
And yeah, fucking a year later, I was back.
You don't know how many times I've arrested people that I've arrested before for the same shit, domestic violence, or on their record, guess what? It's domestic violence. It's a common denominator. When you go back with that person, there's nothing going to change unless both of you change. And that's already showing it only gets, and as you know, it only gets worse.
Oh, it does. It does. Because after the first time she cheated on me and the second time she cheated on me, we could have been fighting about the sofas, but it had nothing to do with the sofas. Because how do we go about the sofas and to me calling her a bitch?
Exactly.
Why? Because I was holding on to that anger because she cheated. Because it cheated. And that's why that last time my bags were just packed. I wasn't going to fight anymore. I'm done.
Good.
I'm done. My bags are packed. She walked in. She saw my bags packed. And all of a sudden, she wanted to go have us get counseling and work things out.
Nope.
No, I'm done.
No.
I'm done. And this is what I told that individual. I told her, the moment she is out of your life is going to get better. You need to fucking evict her. You need to get her out of your fucking house. And you need to get her out of your life. Because the moment she's out of your life, it will get better. For me, I'm fucked until my kids turn 18. The boys are at the point right now where they don't even want to go to the visits anymore. They're done. Like Nick's like, is this why I come? This is why, but they're afraid to tell her anything because she gets confrontational.
See, that's the problem, you know, that's the sad thing, right? That's why, you know, all the advice you tell me from either I have friends, acquaintances, people that, like, you don't understand how many times your advice I've used from this podcast, I use for people on that I go to my calls. Because again, I'm not trying to just be that cop, that robot that just answers the radio call and that's it. No, I'm trying to be there to give advice to those that really seek it. So any advice that you give or that you've given me, even though I'm not going through any of this that you've just given me, I use to people to radio calls I go to, so that way I can educate them. You know, because again, there's a lot of good people that sometimes are just stuck and they're trying to find a way out. And that's what your advice. You actually probably don't know how much of the time actually your advice has actually helped someone. Well,
I had a friend of mine that I met when I worked at KFC for those 2 months. He posted on his Facebook page about a GoFundMe account. I think I said it already, but the GoFundMe account about his baby mama. They're not together anymore, but they get along. They fucking co-parent, which is what should exactly. And he was like, hey, she needs help. You know, her new baby daddy's trying to do this and this and that. I'm like, dude, just have her hit me up. And she's okay, cool. And she actually, I had her listen to episode with you, the one you appeared on, the one called Let It Happen. I told her, listen to this episode. And she did. And then she called me. We talked on the phone for about an hour. And then I told her, you don't need a GoFundMe account. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need squat. Based on what I'm telling you. Do what I'm telling you. And trust me, it'll work out in your favor. Yeah, dude, a few weeks later, she's like, no, yeah, everything. I didn't even... See? You didn't need that money. You didn't need to spend money on a lawyer. Nothing. Nothing. So, I mean, this is what the podcast is for. And I'm glad that somebody used it to help them out. And, you know, to me, like I said, I'm still going through my fucking demons and just bullshit. But it's not even me, myself. It's just, I hurt based on what people fucking say, and the old me would have gone over there and fucking bashed their fucking window to feel better, and I can't. And that's why, and like the incident with the individual we took to eat dinner, it's like I'm fucking holding it in because I can't beat his fucking ass. I can't fucking beat his ass, and that's what's killing me right now. It's killing me that I just can't go over there and shut her the fuck up, because that's not who I am. But it's fucking killing me.
Yeah,
you know, why?
But,
because the kids are the ones that are fucking suffering. The kids are the ones that are hearing this shit.
They're suffering, but at the same time, you have to realize that they're doing that exact same thing. They're realizing of how much of a great person you really are. They're realizing how much of all this, and like you always said, the truth is gonna come out. She's doing you the favor of making them hate her. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, everything you've said, she's turning her own kids against her, because they know the truth. They see it. They don't need to read court documents. Like Nick, I don't need to read none of this court documents bullshit, everything that's been going on. They see from example. And so from them to see the way you are and the way you talk about your, baby mama and X, Y, and Z and everything, and the way you and Letty, raise them compared to when they're over there, they're putting two and two together. They're very smart kids, and they see that, it's clear as day. And it's obvious now from what, again, what Nick says, what Jojo says, what Layla says. It's all it all clicks to them. So is it frustrating because you want to do X, Y, and Z? Yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, these are the main victories that count. Is that the fact that your kids are like can be like, you know what? You're fucking lying, because I spend so much time with dad, and I know how 100% of things you're saying is not true at all.
Yeah. I think I did hurt Nick's feelings the other day, because I was like, I feel like, did you tell her something? And he's like, well, no. I'm like, and then I'm like, it's like, because my mentality is like, well, fucking tell her something, like tell her to shut the fuck up or something. And Letty's like, but that's not how we're raising them. We're raising this kid. Nick has a big fucking heart, and it's fucking hard for him to say something. I'm like, well, it's fucking hard for me to accept the fact that he's not defending me. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's why I even told her, look, this guy, and I pointed to my brother Ricky, this guy finally has my back. This guy finally spoke up for me. Why can't he do the same thing? And, again, my wife reminded me, it's like, because Nick has a big heart, and he doesn't like confrontation. I'm like, well, then he needs to do it over the phone. Yeah. She can't slap him through the phone. And if she ever fucking does touch him, I'll put her ass in jail. I'm gonna fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's also to remember, not only is Nick, I also do believe that Nick's also not a confrontational type of person, which is also good. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those, like, you have to know the person you're talking to. Is she a reasonable person? No.
And that's why I told him. That's why I told the wife. It's like, that's why she continues to do whatever the fuck she wants to, because nobody puts her in her place.
But I feel like if she hears it from Nick, I feel like she's only going to attack Nick, and that's going to hurt him more.
And that's why they don't want to go. They didn't want to go to this visit, but it's last minute. I told her, if you guys didn't want to go, you guys should have told her a week ago, not like that Friday. Now you guys had to go. So maybe next visit, that's when you guys need to speak up and say, fuck it, we're not going. They're old enough to say, fuck it. Dude. Yeah. Like I told her one day, if I'm not forcing Layla to come visit me, it's her choice. She doesn't want to come. That's fine. Same thing for the boys. The boys are old enough. Yep. The boys are old enough to make the decision for themselves. 100%. And if they don't want to go, they don't have to go.
Yeah. And, no, I totally agree. And that's what the fact, then that's the point that I'm making, right? That like, they're realizing this on their own. And kind of going back, I kind of feel that Nick did the right thing of not saying anything because of the person she is. If someone like you, like, fuck, my kid checked me, what, let me rethink this. From what you've explained without knowing this person at all, I feel that she's only going to attack Nick more because, again, that's the type of person she has to feel on top. And I feel like that's only going to crush his confidence, especially as a growing man, as a growing young adult. That's only going to be detrimental to him. So that's why I'm kind of glad that he kind of but that he has to express it to you guys, because he can't just keep it in. He has to express it.
Yeah, and he did hold it in for like a month until he finally
he has to feel, why. But I'm glad he felt comfortable to tell you guys that, hey, this is bugging me. Yeah. And now I'm sure he'll feel comfortable later on, like, hey, this is also what's going on. This is also what's going on. You know what I mean?
And he just felt like she was telling, I guess he told the wife that he just felt like he couldn't say much because it was all of them. It was the mom, it was the sister, the two aunts,
and it was the grandma. He knows the crowd. Yeah. He knows he's against. And guess what? You think they're going to be like, oh, fuck, you know what? Maybe Nick's right. Maybe this 15-year-old kid is right. No, of course not. This is all ego. All ego-driven. They're not going to sit there and be like, oh, fuck, I came to realization. This is people that are unreasonable.
Yeah. Well, that's my life, bro. I mean, I got two of those individuals in my life. Two.
Hey, man, that's why, you know what? You just got to just limit your time with these people. I mean, like I said, that doesn't mean cut off because it's not realistic to cut off because, again, like I said, you have an investment with this person, obviously that being, you know, your children, but that doesn't mean that all that means that you have to limit it.
I haven't talked to her really on a regular basis. Like, the only time I talked to her is when she calls asking about the kids, and
that's all it needs to be.
And it was like, I didn't want to answer the fucking call. I'm like, fuck, or whatever. Yesterday I got a phone call from a Bakersfield number. I'm like, the fuck is this? And I answered it, thinking she probably got a new number like she always does. No, it was a dentist. They're like, oh, you know, your daughter and blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, then, well, hopefully she gets everything done in time, because come January 1st, she's not going to have insurance anymore. And they're like, oh, in that case, never mind. Never mind. And Letty comes out with what happened. I'm like, well, Layla hasn't spoken to me since the end of May, early June. And then she wants to use my insurance to go and get stuff done, but I don't even get a hello. Then I called HR, and they're like, no, you don't have to have her on your insurance. Technically, you shouldn't have had her for the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. My bad. So let her mom put her on her fucking insurance. That's going to save me money.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, perfect.
I told the wife, I do have a conscience. So I text, I will keep her on the insurance if she was going to school. So I hit up the mom. I'm like, hey, is she attending school? Well, she's enrolled at the Bakersfield College. But is she attending? Because if I can't prove that she's in school, then I can't continue to have her on my insurance. And she responded with, take her off. I screenshot, sent it to the wife. My conscience is clean. Yep.
I agree. No, and that's fair. That's fair, you know.
What do you call it? No. Anything else, Rick, before we end this podcast?
No, man. You know, the only thing I guess I would like to close with is just, you know, everyone, you know, if you're in a bad spot, take a breath, take a step back, evaluate. Don't be afraid to walk away. That doesn't mean that you're not a tough person, that you're not a strong person, that you're not willing to deal with the situation. But sometimes everyone needs time to think. No one can think on their feet and say, you know what, I'm going to say the best thing right now in this heat of the moment. You know, it's best sometimes to walk away. As long as the conversation is made, sometimes those need to just step away, take a breath before things escalate to points where, hey, I should have said that thing. Fuck, I wish I didn't do this. So just to reflect before things get bad.
Yep. Or else, that's what like I said, I told homegirl, was like, I give you props for not losing your shit. I give you props because I would have been in jail by now.
No.
And so yes, don't lose your shit. I know I normally do a weekly podcast episode. This will probably be the last one for right now. I mean, if something comes up, a guest hits me up, someone hits me up, then let's go. But last couple weekends, I'm like, fuck, who do I get? I'm like, fuck it, let's bring Ricky back. He's not working. He's not doing nothing. So just like at the wedding, bro, your plan B here again. If anybody listening wants to be on the podcast, you know how to get a hold of me. If you don't know how to get a hold of me, email me, m.andres82@yahoo.com or whatever. Let's go. Let me know. I'm just not going to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to leave it at 69. I'm like, if I'm going to take a break, it's going to be at a positive, at an even number. So episode 70, here you go.
And if anyone wants a French bulldog, hit up Andy. I got 4 males.
He's got 4 more fucking dogs he's got to get rid of. And homie, that blue buffalo food, that's just expensive. I'm going to continue to give my dogs pedigree. Well, like the end of the podcast, Ricky, thank you for riding with me.
Hopefully this wasn't the last time.
It's not the last one. Just, I'm taking a break.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Andy podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.